Welcome to the Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning and welcome to the Manuchehri Show. We are live here in Seattle. Well, really outside of Seattle. We're in South Bellevue. And you know what? Because
Make it sound so fancy.
It is fancy,
South
actually.
Bellevue.
Bellevue is kind of fancy.
Yeah,
it's a little fancy.
Right. So we're not fancy at this end.
Well, I don't know. We're kind of fancy, because this becomes a podcast, and a lot of people don't understand. We come in and do this live. A lot of production goes into it. We have Jen organizing everything. We have Benny taking care of everything. It's actually quite a production. So I think we're a little fancy in fancy Bellevue. And one of the things I get to do, which makes me extremely happy, is I get to interview other authors and spiritual teachers who are also on the leading edge of thought. And that's what I get to do today. And one of my favorites, the beloved Alan Cohen, who is a phenomenal spiritual teacher and a prolific writer. In fact, the book we're going to be talking about, Friends in High Places, will be book number 30. I can't believe what a prolific writer you are, Alan. Alan is also an incredible coach, a life coach. He teaches people holistic life coaching techniques so they can have their own business and be extremely successful in helping other people navigate the world, to inspire others to be their best selves. And he's phenomenal at it. His students arrive from that course highly successful and definitely know how to navigate their new career. So I'm thrilled to always refer my clients and friends to your program, Alan. It's just amazing. And now you don't live in Hawaii anymore. I'm sorry that you left, the beautiful islands, living on Maui and the Big Island for many, many, many years with your close, beautiful friends like Ram Dass, who's now passed over, and also Wayne Dyer, who's also now passed over. But now you're with us on the mainland, living in California, not too far from us, which we are thrilled with your beautiful partner, Dee, and your baby dogs, because they are your babies. And I'm telling you right now, as we bring Alan on to the show, Friends in High Places is my absolute favorite book of yours. It is stunning. I think it's timely, beyond timely. It's really quite magnificent. And you've been hiding things from us, Alan. Because you've been hanging out with channelers and psychics and all kinds of interesting people, which I kind of found out about that when you and I first met. We were both speaking at the Sun Valley Wellness Festival, and we were at a party, and we were both a little bored, and we're standing in the living room. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. We were bored. We were bored, and we, said hi to each other, and we started to ask each other some questions. And I was telling you how much I love Emmanuel and Friends, the book's written by Pat Odegaard, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. I can't remember. And you know her. She's passed now, but you knew her. And I was like, what? You knew her? Oh my gosh. And she was a fabulous channeler for Emmanuel. So I shouldn't be surprised by all of your psychic experiences that you've been having for decades that you're now sharing with us so that others can have these experiences themselves. So welcome to the show, Alan. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, it's always great to play with you. Thank you so much, my dear.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. So what made you decide to, write this breakthrough guide to interdimensional communication? What gave you the inspiration to, and I'm not saying you were hiding these things, but maybe just a little.
Maybe I was in the closet a little bit. Yeah. I've had the blessing to work with many, many wonderful mediums and channelers and psychics over many years. And they've actually played a major role in my own healing and my own awakening. I just studied thousands of hours over many years. I thought, well, why hide this anymore? This is a very healing part of my life. So let me pass what I've learned along to folks who may be just a little bit behind me on the path. And so there's lots of tips and tools and techniques for how to find a good psychic, how to work with one, how to discern between genuine material and not so genuine material, how to take it to heart and make it really practical. So it's really a a very grounded, practical guide to interdimensional communication.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And you break up the book into chapters about each of your experiences with these
Right.
incredibly gifted, talented, authentic, beings.
Yeah.
But before you got to that whole place, you're in school, you're having your own experiences until you finally find a holistic psychology program for your grad
Yeah.
program.
Right.
And you
Right.
meet all these compassionate people, who finally get you to where you want to be because this is how you want to authentically work with others, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's around that time you start running into all these interesting people who
Yeah.
talk to dead people all day long.
Well, they found me. I never go looking for channelers, but somehow they come into my radar and I start working with them. And the quality of the material is what gets my attention. It's not the woo aspect of psychism. It's like, here is truth. Here's something that speaks to my heart. Here's something that works. So let me use this and make my life better. So I think I've received a lot of grace, Marie. I think I just
Oh,
path to the best I can, and good things come. I feel
I
very
think it's
blessed.
remarkable. So of course you showcase, I believe, six different
Yeah,
multidimensional talent, which is really lovely. Carla, Hilda, Helen, Emmanuel, one of my favorites, by the way. Abraham, also one of my favorites, and then Bashar, which I don't know, so I can't wait to really, study. What I also love is that you spell out what all of this means. What does it mean to be a channeler who's not conscious during that time,
right.
like Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham? She's not aware when she's channeling. And then people who are kind of semi-aware while they're channeling, or others, which is probably more common, who are aware when
Right.
they're channeling, which I
Right.
think I think actually the more unconscious you are, the more interesting it might be.
Can
But
I quote you on that?
yeah, you can quote me on that. Of course, you can quote me on anything. Absolutely. So in the book, you talk about, and I think it was with, if I get it correctly, Carla.
Yeah.
You talk about this, and I could be wrong, so I apologize. But where two of these women come together and they have these really interesting experiences
Right.
that lead them into channeling that they didn't know was going to happen, and they even test it out and research it. I mean, these stories are phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Carla Gordon was a minister, like a divine science minister, and she had a prayer partner named Helen, and they would meditate and pray together every day. And one day while she was meditating, she saw what seemed to be like a white dove just kind of like crashing into her brain. And she blanked out. And when she opened her eyes, there was her partner sitting there with mascara running down her cheeks and, a pile of used tissues in her lap. And Carla said, "What happened?" And her friend said, "Well, don't you know that for the past 2 hours, you've told me everything I ever need to know about my life?"
Yes.
And so they said, "Well, is this weird or, is this real?" So they said, "Give us a sign." And the voice said, "Go see Mr. Peterson at the Jameson mortuary and tell him his answer is yes." And they had no idea of anything. It was just like,
Right.
woo. But they were faithful. They went. So I think of them like as Lucy and Ethel, kind of coming to this mortuary. And they knocked on the door and they said, "We have a message for you." The mortician answered. And they said, "The guide wants you to know that your answer is yes." And he broke down. He said, "Most people don't know this, but I am dying. And a few weeks ago, I wrote a letter to God. And I said, 'Is there life after death?' And I placed it in the jacket pocket of the deceased. And we closed the coffin. And he was buried. Nobody in the whole universe knew about that question. But now I have my answer. I can die in peace." So that's a good use of channeling, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, that is a phenomenal use of channeling, a beautiful story. And the entire book is filled with stories like this, just
Yeah, yeah.
fun, because people don't understand that when you work in the multidimensional world, and whether it's professionally or personally, and even if you are a professional, you do it personally. That's how you grow.
Right.
It's so fun and it's so surprising, and it just keeps you believing in the world beyond this world because
Yeah.
there's no way these other things could ever have really
Absolutely.
happened in the way that they happened if you weren't allowing yourself to have a multisensory connection. And everyone deserves to have these experiences on Earth. Everyone is capable of having them for themselves at least, right? And I love your book because that's what you do. As you go into these really cool, amazing stories that are phenomenal, um, then you help people allow themselves to have these experiences too. One of the rules I have when people ask me, how do you find a good psychic or intuitive, is I feel like you have that when you're choosing that, these are people that need to be really, really happy. Their life is going in a good direction, because when you're listening to authentic information, your life gets better and more fulfilling and joyful, and you make really good choices. And
Yeah.
of course, they need to be accurate. They need to have a history of having long accuracy with the people they work with.
Mhm.
But most of all, they need to be, I mean, not everything in our life is going to be perfect all the time, but they need to be happy and fulfilled. That's a really good sign that they're listening to the divine. They understand the information, they trust it, they follow it, and magic happens in their life. And then it is in those moments that they can provide opportunities for others as well.
Yeah, one of the main principles of the book is that there are universal principles that guide our lives. And when we use them, they make us happier. And that there is a world out there of guidance and healing and grace and forgiveness and support and insight that goes so far beyond the physical senses. And when you start to tap into it, you're the heir to great treasure. And it really makes life so much more meaningful and interesting and soul rewarding. So the book is all about soul reward and living from the inside out by the grace of higher power.
That is just absolutely beautiful and amazing, and you so true. One of the greatest, rules, if we universal rules, is free will. Everyone has free will. So even when you listen to a psychic or intuitive or me, and I'm highly direct and very fast, you still need to listen to yourself. You absolutely have to listen to yourself. I was getting an astrology reading one year from someone who's now deceased, but a very famous astrologer, and it was years ago before I wrote my book. And he told me while we were in the session that I would never be a published author. He said that to me. And at the same time that he said that, I heard a voice, because sometimes when
Yeah.
they tell you things, it's because another voice can come in, one that you know or understand better. I heard a voice say, "You will be a published author." It was so clear. It was a voice the tone was something that I was familiar with from previous moments where I have spontaneous division or delight in my life. And so when he said that, it didn't even upset me. I just thought it was so interesting. I was in this
Yeah.
cool kind of bubble of having this multisensory experience with a human being I greatly respected, and with the multisensory world kissing me and winking at me and giggling, and me feeling confident at that moment more than ever that, oh, I was going to be published. Wow. Okay. Exciting. So I left that meeting happy, not even focused at all at what he said.
Yeah.
But somehow that moment was able to happen because of the interaction that we were having together.
Well, you're making a great point, because no matter how good a psychic or astrologer is, you have to try all information on for size with your inner guide. And if it's a good psychic, lots of times the information will resonate. If it doesn't resonate, you can't buy it. And you have to fall back on the inner knowing greater than any voice in the outside world. We all have guidance. There is a spiritual knowingness within us that will tell us the impeccable truth in any situation if we're willing to ask. So one of the goals of my book is to help people, while they're getting guidance from external sources, to fall back on what their spirit tells them more than what their ears hear. And then you've attain true spiritual mastery.
I absolutely love that. So we had a little chat about Carla and Helen. Can you share something about Hilda? Because I just remember I felt when I was reading your information about Hilda that it was kind of a love match, and I don't mean romantically,
Right, right.
but I just felt all this, and I know you love all of these beings
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
of the human counterparts to these beings. But could you share a fun story about
Yeah,
Hilda?
well, she was a gifted teacher, and she had this uncanny ability to talk to invisible entities, and they were very specific. There was like Pericles, the Greek statesman, and Red Cloud, the Native American chief, and Jesus, and when she was a little girl, she would have these entities visit her in her bedroom. She had no idea who they were. And one was a yogi who, with a large belly and a loincloth, and he was sitting under a tree in her vision. He was going like this. She had no clue who that was. Many years later, she went to India on a pilgrimage, and she heard about this guru named Sri Nityananda. She went to his ashram, and there he was, the exact same man with the belly and the loincloth going like that. And so he gave her a visitation that foreshadowed the fact that he would be her guru. And so the point is that, there are entities and beings and saints and angels and guides and spirits and masters who are willing to help us and are knocking on the door of our consciousness and our heart. And when we open our mind and heart to receive them, we get so many more blessings than if we just kind of wandered around poking on the earth with the blind leading the blind. And so she did that for me and thousands of people. I studied with her intimately for 14 years, and she really made that world very real to me.
Amazing. That is just incredible. I mean, the stories in your book are beyond beautiful. They're so beautiful. I had experience myself. I'm not religious. I've never read the Bible. For some reason, it's just not an interesting document for me. But I had I was going through a very, very tough time in my life before I even knew I was psychic, which I apparently was ignoring my psychic ability for a while. I had read books like Emmanuel, and I'd read Seth Speaks many, many times. I love the interesting story of, that Jane Roberts brought to the world. Really phenomenal. And anyway, I was in this really crazy moment in my life. I was pregnant. I was living very far away from my family. My daughter's dad was actually out of the state that I was living in for a couple weeks, and something potentially terrible was going to happen in our life, like really, really bad, which I can't totally say, but it was really bad. And I was, very distressed. I was probably, 37 weeks pregnant, and I was crying one night, and all of a sudden Christ just walked right up to me, walked right up to me, hugged me, didn't tell me if the terrible thing was going to happen or not, but told me everything was really going to be okay, regardless.
Great.
Luckily, the terrible thing did not happen. But I was so surprised because since I'm not religious and I've never read the Bible, I think that's an important thing for people to understand, that these hierarchy of beings who are so evolved, who are devoted to the evolution of consciousness, are available to any of us all the time, and that we need to not question their gracious help and love and support, however they appear to us. And I also think the universe loves to surprise us. They're going to show us something that we weren't planning on experiencing, right? And that moment was so profound for me. I'm so grateful still, 35 years later, that Christ took time out of its busy schedule to comfort me.
Let's talk about him for a moment, because most people think of Jesus religiously, but I think of him personally. To me, he's not a religious leader. He's a dear friend and guide. And I think a lot of people have been turned off to Jesus because they had bad experiences with their religion. But he was and is a person who is willing to meet each of us in our heart, right where we are, regardless whether we go to church or not. He was Jewish. He's one of my relatives, so he appears to Jewish people. And so, it's let us see if we can rise beyond religious dogma and create personal connections with our guides, whether it's Jesus or Mother Mary or Buddha. They are available to us. They're not so far beyond us that we can't connect with them. They want to help us. If we just ask for help, it'll come.
It's absolutely true. And then that reminds me about your book too, how, when you were young, you decided, because I don't think you were born into a Jewish family, were you?
Yeah, I was born into Jewish.
Oh, because it's when I was reading the book, you found an Orthodox Jewish teacher.
I became Orthodox, yeah.
Oh, so you were Jewish, but then you became Orthodox. Well, Orthodox is pretty intense.
It's very intense. There's more commandments than any human being could possibly keep up with. You
Wow.
can never win because you're always doing something wrong.
And so you studied, you have always been a spiritual quest person, studying with profound teachers in physical and non-physical forms. So he
Yeah.
was one of your first teachers, so to speak. Really a
Yeah.
father to you as well, is how I felt, a father figure for you.
Well, after I got done being Jewish, somebody gave me the Christian Bible, and his words were in red, and I'd never read the Christian Bible. And I don't care what religion he was, those words were so compelling. He says, don't quit trying to take the speck out of the other person's eye when you have a log in your own. That's the best psychology I've ever heard. So the authority of the teachings spoke to me. I didn't care who's saying them, but truth is true. And when you hear truth, it vibrates within you.
It does. It really, it truly, truly does. Sorry, I'll be better at waiting before I speak. So in your lovely book, you also talk about my favorite channeler present on earth, which is Abraham.
Yeah.
I listen to something Abraham every single day. I don't necessarily read the material, but I love to listen to Esther, even
Yeah.
for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. It can shift my vibration very quickly. In fact, I really believe listening to her and when I was questioning my career as an oncology nurse is what allowed me to just jump and vibrationally move into the career I have
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I truly
Amen.
believe that because my energy was so high
Yeah.
listening to her. So, can you tell me, some of your thoughts about
Yeah,
that
well, I had the
chapter?
pleasure to be friends with Jerry and Esther for quite a while, and we would get together a couple times a year. They were lovely, lovely people, and I would occasionally ask Abraham a question, and he would give me a personal answer. Like we were at dinner one night, and I asked Esther a question. She said, "Well, let's see what Abraham would have to say." So she brought Abraham through, and Abraham gave me a great answer. And I said, "Well, thank you. That was really nice of you." And he said, "Well, we're all in this together." And it told me that even though Abraham's an enlightened being in the invisible plane, that there's a certain element of family that we all share. And they didn't want me to put them on a pedestal. They wanted to say they were all working with us together. And then at another time, I had to go to this legal meeting I was nervous about. And I called up Esther and I said, "Would you just send me some good vibes?" She said, "Do you want to talk to Abraham?" Well, sure. So she put Abraham on. And Abraham says, "What makes you think that this kind of meeting is going to be bad?" And I said, "Well, I've heard from other people who've had bad experiences." She said, he said, "Well, why do you think that their experience would apply to you? They created their own result and you will create your own result. So we think you can sail through this, and what happened to them has nothing to do with what happened to you." And they said, "Would you like us to go with you?" And I said, "Sure."
Oh,
So he said, "We'll go with you." So the meeting was a piece of cake. It was so smooth, happy resolutions for everybody. It all worked out gracefully. It was like a miracle. And I realized that in addition to being helped, I was given the teaching that I cannot create my own experiences based on other people's. I have to source my life from the inside out and not be influenced by their negative thoughts or experiences.
it's really true. And I think all of these channelers and mystics are teaching that we're all one and that, even though we're all one, we're also individuals. And yet that oneness is about vibrating in the highest, you know, frequency that we possibly can allow ourselves to have here on earth while allowing ourselves to have individual experiences, regardless of what's happening in the world. We don't have to have any of the same things that are happening in the world that we don't want to have, the low
Yeah,
vibrational things.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter how close they are to us. It doesn't matter if they're next door. It doesn't matter if it's happening in our work. It doesn't have to actually, that footprint doesn't have to touch our lives ever, unless, of course, it's
Exactly.
going to provide some wonderful learning experience for us, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But yes, I love that. My guides taught me an exercise in the beginning. I always talk about the beginning because it was so interesting and fun for me, the beginning, where they asked me to do meditations where I was at a cocktail party, like in the heavens. And people that I admire who are alive and crossed over were at the cocktail party, and we were treating each other as peers. So
Ah, cool.
Buddha and Christ, and maybe like Martin Luther King or Gandhi or whatever, and people that I admire that are in their bodies still, we're all there, and we're just talking, and they're saying, "Hey, how are you?" And and so I teach that to my students to allow themselves to have these experience in meditation,
Mhm.
so that they can calibrate their subatomic particles to the truth that they are just as valuable of as any sacred being that has ever existed.
Yeah. And one of the chapters in my book is about A Course in Miracles. And in the Course, Jesus, who dictated the Course, said, I don't want you worship, I want you worthship. And he says, think of me as your elder brother who has walked the path a little bit ahead of you. And I want to share with you what I learned so you can meet me as an equal. And how comforting is that we're all equal to Christ or Buddha or Muhammad or Moses. If we just drop into our spiritual nature, there's only oneness. There's no hierarchy. There's no division. It's just we're all in this together.
It's absolutely 100% true. And your book, this phenomenal and amazing book that you have created, absolutely allows people to explore that and to have their own personal experiences. And also, we have something else coming up, is that you are going to be having a lovely event. It's called the Light Virtual Summit. It's a 4-day virtual summit that will help you to remember your true spiritual identity and be a light to the world during these confusing times. Alan and guests will offer important insights, Q&A, brief coaching with individuals, and guided visualizations in each session. I know that I will be a part of one of those. I'll be making my appearance on December 6th. And I know you have Mike Dooley and several other incredible, amazing people that are going to be making their appearance and assisting you, helping to assist them. You can find out all about this on my industry event page. Of course, go to alancohen.com and you can sign up for that. And Alan, you're offering this on a sliding scale to cover registration for the virtual summit, which is very interesting. Could you explain that a little bit?
The sliding scale?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an experiment. I want everybody to be able to attend, and I want everybody to work with their finances and their beliefs. So we have different slots and tiers, and people can sign up and pay what works for them. So everybody's happy. Everybody can come. Everybody's happy.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm thrilled to offer whatever I can and be with your other illuminating beings that you've organized in this incredible 4-day virtual summit.
So I get to spend an evening with you online.
Phenomenal.
And folks can ask you questions or make comments, and that'll be my fun to be with you for an evening and just share. That'll be
thank you. And for everyone to have you for all those days and all of your wisdom and your compassion and your guidance, which is obviously very well earned. I mean, seriously, all the time you've been hanging out with all these amazing people that you've been hiding from a little bit. And I think this would be, not only is it a fabulous book, but I think it would be a phenomenal book for a gift for the holidays. I'm going to buy each one for my kids. I'm getting this book for you because not only does it share things that I fully believe in that are super important for me, and the book again is called Friends in High Places. But you also have a practical aspect to it that I think is really important for people. We need our logical minds to understand things so that we can allow consciousness to expand. And you did a beautiful job of marrying all of that together, which creates safety, which we already have. But, the logical mind says weird things sometimes to us. So thank you so much for writing this book and sharing these beautiful, deep, powerful stories. Friends in High Places, A Breakthrough Guide to Interdimensional Communication by Alan Cohen.
Yeah, it just came out on Amazon. You're not holding it because it just came out on Amazon, but in a couple of days you'll hold one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're sending all of our love to you, and I will see you in December, if not sooner. And I wish you and Dee and your children a great Thanksgiving and other holidays that are coming up. And we're so glad you're here on the mainland.
Yeah, well, it's such a blessing to be with you anytime. It's my pleasure. So I love you with all my heart, and I'm so grateful for what you're doing. You're a light to the world, Marie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen. And as are you. I love you too. Have a beautiful day.
Big hugs.
Bye-bye.
And we are going to move on to the second half of the show. It's going to be open call and show day, Marie. So we got to get, the rest of those phone lines in. So 877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. And we'll be right back with more from Marie.
Hello, this is Marie Manuchehri, and I'm bringing back energy healing coaching this winter. Every Wednesday, beginning January 12th through March 30th, between 5 and 6:15 p.m., 26 lovely, aware, conscious individuals will come together online to learn how to read their own and other people's energy. If you've ever wanted to have a practice in the energy medicine world, you definitely want to join this program. You will learn that the energetic particles that create your anatomy and physiology can be felt, seen, and heard through one's unlimited multisensory awareness. Please join me so that you can expand your consciousness and learn how to heal yourself and also facilitate others in the healing process. For more information, please visit energyintuitive.com.
Have something important to say? Want to help improve our world? Need to promote your business uniquely and effectively? KKNW is the answer. Our staff helps broadcasters and podcasters create professional sounding audio. Bring your talent and let our experts help you craft a radio show or podcast that best delivers your message. Learn more at 1150kknw.com. That's 1150kknw.com. KKNW, talk variety that's live and local.
Hello, this is Marie Manuchehri, and I'm thrilled to offer once again my psychic coaching program. Starting this winter, January 10th through April 4th, for 12 beautiful weeks, you will join like-minded people, and we will work together to learn proven, powerful techniques so that you can harness this incredible energy in your life forever. You can use it personally, you can use it professionally, or you can use it for both. For more information, visit energyintuitive.com.
Need help getting started with self-help? You came to the right place. Alternative Talk 1150.
One of my favorite songs, Benny. Thank you so much. I love it. And
I do too.
isn't it
Kind of brought back a little bit of the
gorgeous?
80s for
I
me.
mean, oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I love that song. That's beautiful. Okay, everybody, well, welcome back to the show.
Yep.
I'm taking calls, and I just want to remind people, we'll let you know, we only have 2 slots left in the energy healing coaching program. The psychic coaching program, which will begin in January, both of them, is sold out. And of course, I'm still teaching my shift program. We will enter module 4 next week. We have about 900 people who've signed up for that class. About 500 lives show up every Tuesday evening. And because all the modules are recorded, you can purchase the course whenever you want. You can go to my industry page at energyintuitive.com, sign up for Alan Cohen's beautiful online virtual light virtual summit, and learn from other intuitives in the world and spiritual teachers, along with Alan, for 4 days during his beautiful program which begins. Well, I'm on December 6th, so it is December 6th through the 9th. Ooh, I'm the first one. Ooh, at 5 p.m. How exciting! Can't wait. Okay, who do we have on the call?
Sure. Let's give out the number yet again. If you didn't get it the first time around or second, 877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. And we'll take Laura calling in from either Vancouver South or North. I'm not sure which one, but we'll find out right now. Hello, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. What can I do for you? Sorry, I'm asking Benny to hand me a pen. I forgot
Okay,
to grab
just a second.
one. He's like taking care of me. Thank you, Benny. Okay, what can I do for you?
I'm calling today to see if you can help me with some health questions.
Yeah.
You just have a look at the health picture.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing, by the way. My favorite thing. So,
Good.
So what can I do for you?
It's just a health picture. I just want to say right off the bat, it's not an emergency.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
be
not.
worried.
I'm not worried. I've already
But it is
read.
related to.
I've already
Okay.
read
Go ahead
part of
then.
your energy, so I know it's not urgent. You don't need to call 911. But it has been, somewhat problematic and distracting. Would you agree?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So, and I don't know what it is yet, but you do have a massive leak of energy in the first chakra. So the first chakra is the root chakra, and it's really difficult to heal anything when you don't have energy coming up into the first vortex. First of all, the first chakra takes in energy from the earth, and you're in physical form living on the planet. So you need physical energy to help your body to heal. That's just a reality. And so when you're leaking energy, and I said a big leak, massive leak, like you're leaking your life force out of your body. You're definitely not pulling up earth energy. And then on top of that, you can't send energy to the first layer of the auric field. So you have this stunning aura around you, as everyone does. And the first layer of the auric field, I call it the physical reality, but it's literally a hologram with all of your anatomy and physiology, a carbon copy of it, in perfect and total health functioning around in this aura, this first layer of energy that's the closest to your human form. And when people are grounded and they pull up earth energy, the root chakra, once it's fully fed, it will send energy to the first layer of the auric field. And when the first layer of the auric field has energy, the hologram will then tell your real body what health looks like, and it can solve any health issue. You don't have any of that going on. So even if you work really hard at this to make it go away, it's going to be really difficult because everything requires energy. Healing requires energy, and the body requires energy from the earth. So you have to get in your body, you have to get grounded, you have to start pulling up earth energy. And for you, you have to start to trust, because you don't trust. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Trust other people, or
just trust in general. You know, you rely on yourself. You're very independent, fiercely independent, by the way, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but you have to trust and let other people help you. And you have probably from previous lifetimes, for logical good reasons, you've learned not to trust people. And I think you need to trust the earth. I think you need to stop worrying about the planet, because most people who worry about the planet can't be grounded or pull up earth energy because they're trying to protect the planet. And if the planet wanted to get rid of us, all she'd have to do is fart and burp and cough a few times and we'd all be gone. But she actually loves the 7 billion human souls on the earth and all the other amazing souls that are on the earth. So as I said that to you about the earth, you started to turn around your energy and you began to pull some up into your physical form. So this will help you to heal. And I would say, do a what if question. What if I easily trust all of creation and I let go?
If I easily trust all of creation and let go.
Yep. And I would say it every hour for a couple minutes for at least 2 weeks. And you can say it silently too. You don't have to say it out loud. Okay?
Okay. I will do that. Is there anything from the conventional medical perspective that you think I should be checking out?
I don't think you should do anything until you get your energy elevated, because it won't matter. It's not going to work.
Okay.
Okay.
And that what if question is the main intervention for the first chakra.
And, visualize energy coming up into your body from the earth. Let the earth give to you. Trust it. Don't try to protect it. Okay?
Okay.
Have a good day.
You.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Laura, for joining us from the Vancouver area, whichever one. They're both great. That's all I'm saying. They're both
you're
fantastic.
just not sure if it was
That's
Vancouver,
okay, no big
Washington,
deal.
or British
It's
Columbia.
okay. It's all good. We'll travel to, I know where Sacramento, that's California is. So Casey from Sacramento. Hi, Casey.
Hello.
Hi, Casey.
Hello.
How are
It's a delight
you?
to talk to you both. Very well, thank you. Good to listen to the conversation this morning.
Wonderful.
I'm taking your energy healing coaching.
Yay.
And can you tell me
thank you.
anything I need to work on between now and then? And I also want to know about my deceased father, if you would tell.
Your dad is kind of a hoot. Would you agree with that comment? When he was, you wouldn't. Well, I think you have some healing to do about your dad, but I think he's a hoot. And of course, he wasn't my father, right? So I don't have the baggage regarding it. And I'm also at a place, I think, when I look at people acting very unconscious, I think it's kind of a hoot versus, well, think about it. Like how many people, especially people who are listening to my show and who are maybe more liberal in their political views, don't think that all the other people who are acting in the complete opposition are a hoot. And what if we all started to think of people who are acting different than we are as a hoot versus threatening, or dangerous? What if we just thought of them as a hoot?
Okay. So I'm thinking my angel's telling me not to contact him with just now, and he passed the way your dad did 48 years ago, and I think he's just now going to the light.
No, that's not
But-
true. He crossed over quickly. Angels would never tell you not to contact anyone.
Okay.
So what would happen? What would happen? Let's say if somebody was abusive to someone, emotionally, verbally, whatnot, and your dad's a hoot, and we now know what my definition of that is. That what would happen is he can't come close to you. Anyone who was abusive to someone in a lifetime and who's crossed over, and let's say we're still on Earth, they can't come close to our auric field until they change their energy. He has clearly changed his energy. So I know you're very intuitive, but you use a lot of fear in your analogy of intuition, and fear has nothing to do with anything that's correct or accurate.
I get so much trickster energy. I don't know how to get rid of it.
Well, you're going to find out in our class.
Good.
It's going to be really fun. You're going to have a great time. Your father is blowing you kisses. He's kissing you all over your face. And he says, just remember, I wasn't really the teacher in our family. He goes, you would have been the greatest teacher of our family, but we didn't believe in listening to children. So disregard anything I told you. That's what he says. It's adorable. He's a hoot. A hoot.
Oh, thank you so much, Marie.
You're welcome.
Really
Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Casey, for joining the show from Sacramento. 877-825-8828. We'll take now Laura, another one, but this time calling in from Chicago, Illinois.
Ooh, I love
Or I should
Chicago.
say Illinois. I don't even know where in.
No,
I
that's
just
right.
made
I
that up.
love Chicago, by the way.
I just made
love
that
it.
up,
I especially love shopping on Michigan Avenue.
You
Which
just like shopping in general.
I do like shopping. This is true. What can I do for you, Laura?
Hi. I was wondering what you see with my relationship and my career.
Okay, well, those are both big questions. Why don't we choose one?
Yep.
I'm going to choose relationship. And how long have you been in this relationship that you're talking about?
A little over 2 years.
Oh, so not very long. But why does it feel so complicated?
A lot of fighting.
Okay, so why are you guys together? I don't really understand.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, here's what I think, and you can disagree with anything I say, right? Which, remember, free will is the strongest law in the universe. I think that you are a pretty easygoing person. Would you agree?
Some people think so, and a lot don't. So.
Oh, really? So the lot who don't think so, what is their reasoning behind that, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm not sure. Maybe that I'm particular.
Mm-hmm. So picky.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Okay, so
I am. That's for sure. You're not the only one.
yeah,
so
but
don't worry.
but isn't Benny's a sweetheart? I mean, you know, he's
But I'm picky.
okay. I mean, I don't know. Perhaps you are. I don't really know. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't know who these people are who's saying you're picky, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. What I'm trying to say is, I think you're a fairly easygoing person. I think that you know how to compromise in relationship. I think you're a very good giver. If you agree that's true and it's not happening with your partner, that's problematic. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even though this relationship is 2 years old, it feels like it's 20 years old, and I'm exhausted when I look at it. Exhausted. So I think you two need to reevaluate your partnership and be honest with each other. I think things are supposed to get better over time, not worse. And that's always a sign, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, a new health regimen. If things don't improve, it's not the right fit. It doesn't mean there won't be some complications potentially, but then we find great solutions for them when we are in a good fit for a career, for friendships, for intimacy, for even our health and healing modalities. But I don't see that happening with you guys. So I think you guys need to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. Conversation to maybe part ways because
Yeah.
it's just not working.
It's exhausting. Would you agree it's exhausting?
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So not a good sign. Ding, 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 ding. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the potential
Thank you
of
very much.
a counselor, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean,
Any choice?
sure.
option
That's
there?
an option. I mean, but I don't know. I don't think your
Seeing it's not
partner's
going there.
open. Is your partner open to therapy?
Well, no, not
Yeah,
very
see?
much.
Yeah.
there we go.
So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining the show. 877-825-8828. And let's scroll over to JJ, who's calling in from South Carolina. Hi, JJ.
Hi.
Hi, JJ. How are you?
I am so excited to talk to you. I
Oh.
just love what you're doing.
Thank you. And one of my favorite people lives in South Carolina, Suzanne Giesman.
I know.
She-
She's on the coast. I'm near the mountains.
Oh,
so
are you? Yeah.
I found you through Suzanne.
Did
actually.
you? We have met virtually, and we love each other. So I can't wait till we can actually hug each other and even teach live. To like not an online course, but to a live audience.
I went to her course in Savannah a few weeks ago, and it was amazing to see her in person.
She's incredible. She's one of my favorites.
She is.
So what can I do for you?
You two are my.
Oh, thank
Very.
you. Thank you. So what can I do for you?
So I'm doing stuff with Suzanne. I'm also doing your shift course right now.
Thank you. That class is so fun. Oh my gosh.
It is. But what I've got kind of two questions that might or might not relate.
Okay.
When I'm trying to meditate or do any kind of guided visualizations, and this has been going on kind of for years, I get like these sort of jerky clonic movements, and they're almost always on my left side.
Mm-hmm.
But lately they've been a little more kind of violent, almost as if you fell asleep, while you're driving and you jerk.
Yeah. So this is actually, it's actually very good. It's a good thing. What it means is that when you're doing these things, you're channeling in a lot of energy. And the jerk is when they're hitting areas of resistance in your energy system. And they're kind of waking it up and unblocking it. The whole left-hand side of the body is about receiving. And you're a Southern woman. Southern women are even more generous than the rest of us and more compassionate and more giving. And, you need to learn to receive and not just constantly give and take care of everyone. I love that it's starting to move in other parts of your body. Don't be alarmed by it. Let it happen. Value it. Appreciate it. It's actually doing something very good for you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was like somehow, spirit world trying to speak to me. I'm trying to figure out where my talents lie.
Right. And so if you let this energy, because it's hitting resistance, that's why you're jerking, right? That's what happens when people start to open up Kundalini who have not opened up to Kundalini. They have like weird movements in their body because the Kundalini is trying to break apart resistance. I can't say for sure that's exactly what is happening for you because I feel like you actually have already some Kundalini energy in your second chakra. And it might have to do with and I don't mean any positive or negative comments with what I'm about to say, but like sexual pleasure might be good in your life, which helps with Kundalini. But the rest that you're feeling, because it's mostly coming from the top, I see energy coming in through the top of your head, and then you start having these, movements as it hits resistance. That's really great. Kundalini energy comes in through the lower back, enters into the body at the second chakra. So, and I think you have at least a decent amount of that energy already happening there, but the rest that's going is actually good for you. Let it happen, embrace it, relax with it. Just get curious with it. Don't try to fight it. Let it do its job.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, JJ, for joining the show. And from South Carolina, 877-825-8828. And we will now take Myra calling in from, is it Devonport or Davenport?
Davenport.
Thank you very much. So, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great. What can I do for you, Myra?
Well, thank you. And I just wanted you to look at my health picture and my chakras.
Mm-hmm. So how many people do you have in your life right now? Like, do you have a big family? I mean,
It's not all that big. It's my parents, my siblings, and my immediate husband.
Does everybody live together, or do you live really close to each other?
We actually live apart, but we kind of mix. Like my stepson is coming, my mother-in-law will be coming.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Can you go get a hotel room?
Oh my God, yes.
You are just worn out, and like most women, you're gracious and kind and giving, and you want everyone to have a good time, and you worry about everybody. Can you please just go get a hotel room, please? I mean, like for 4 days. I want you to go to a really nice hotel, order room service, go down and eat dinner in the dining room by yourself, go get a massage, go walk the grounds. Believe me, I'm going to be doing this myself soon. Just get out of Dodge, please.
Yes, I feel Yes.
Okay.
Sounds amazing, really.
That could be
It does. Okay,
Yeah.
even Benny
Sounds
wants
amazing.
to go.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, Benny needs a hotel
I need one too.
escape. Oh my gosh. Yeah, even men need it, right? Everybody needs it these days, especially now that people are working from home. If the women have been the traditional caregiver, and now the husbands are home and they're having to be caregivers too. And if they weren't traditionally, because I know Benny's always been a traditional caregiver for his family and his children as well. The men need hotel breakouts. So yes, please go ahead and go have a hotel vacation and stop worrying about everyone. Stop making your home so desirable so that people will stop landing in your house and you stop being, every hotel worker in your own home, from the chef to the housekeeper to the event planner. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Make it less comfortable. Like, oh, I don't have time to wash those sheets again this week. Sorry, could you put them in the laundry for me? Oh, could you warm up all the leftovers, please? Oh, could you set the table? Make them work for you.
Yes, that would be very helpful, actually. How are my chakras?
So you're actually grounded. You're taking in energy from the first chakra, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. That's excellent. I don't see a leak, but you are tired. And
I am.
You're going to have to delegate work for others. I'm going to actually recommend an herbal remedy, but I want everyone to know I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a naturopath. If you're taking other medications, you need to double check with your doctor or pharmacist. I don't know if I think I can say, can I say the other donkey word on the air, Benny?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this wonderful, it's called Kick-Ass Immunity formula. I take
works.
it all winter. It's fabulous. It's this liquid herbal formula. But again, if anyone's taking medication, or, you don't know what your allergies are, ask a professional, please, because everyone's unique and different. But I think that would work great for you so we can get your immune system working better and not completely reacting to your exhaustion. Okay?
What is it called?
Kick-Ass Immunity. And it's you buy it in a health food store, you can order it on Amazon, and you just take it like every 4 hours before you get sick or when you're not feeling well, and it will help you stay healthy. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you. You're awesome.
Okay, have a great day.
Thanks very much for joining the show. 877-825-8828. If you don't have the number, you got to get it now. We're almost out of time anyways, but we have time for maybe one, maybe two.
Okay.
Let's do one for sure. Susan from Northern California. Hi, Susan.
Hi. Hi, Marie.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
My question is, my question is I wanted you to assess my chakras, especially my third chakra. I have I'm severely immunocompromised due to chemo and radiation.
Oh.
And it's at 1.4 to under 2. And I'm
Are you doing your treatments at home, or are you just going in to like an outpatient and getting infusions and then going home?
I'm done with it, actually.
Oh, good.
I had it done a few years ago.
Okay. Okay. So how come your immune system hasn't come up yet?
I don't know.
Very, very, very interesting, because I just read your energy. I don't see a leak anywhere. Is your father deceased?
No.
Okay.
He's still alive.
Is he sick?
No. He has maybe congestive heart failure, but he's
doing
awesome.
fine for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you?
Yeah.
Do you have a grandfather that is deceased that you were really close to?
No.
Okay. Do you have an uncle, a father-in-law, someone who's deceased or on the other side, or someone who could be demented and alive, but they're not really present, if that makes sense? Because there is a man who's deceased, or one of those definitions, standing next to you that wants to talk to you about all of this. So do you have an
I
uncle?
can't think of anyone.
Well,
I have uncles past, but I can't say I was extremely close.
Well, I didn't say extremely. So I did not say extremely that you were close to, or who was kind to you.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a male relative who's deceased who is kind to you, who's on the other side.
I have a couple, yes.
A couple. Okay. So they're wanting to talk to you because, first of all, they're very, very sorry. And I think this is going to be on your father's side, because I can't get the word father out of my head. And I think this is on your father's side of the family. They want to talk to you about, well, first of all, they're very sorry that, all of these things happened to you and you got ill and went through treatment. It was very scary for you. Would you say that's true?
Mm-hmm.
It was terrifying for you. And I think that's why your immune system hasn't caught up yet, because you're still in the vibration of the fear. And they want you to let them in. So masculine energy is important for you. You have strong masculine energy, even though you're a woman, as I do. And you're keeping masculine energy outside of your body. You need to let it in, because that's what's going to pump up your immune system. So here's what I want you to do. I can say it in like 30 seconds. I want you to, this is your what if question. What if I allow healthy masculine energy in my body? That's the only thing I want you to say. Every hour for the next 3 weeks, for like 2 to 3 minutes, repeat the question. And then let me know how things are going, okay?
Okay. Is it safe for me to get the COVID vaccine?
I'm not sure. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I actually think the vaccine is lovely. I'm not 100% sure. Will you please ask the naturopath? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. Joyful blessings for you, and fall in love with yourself. You deserve it. You're amazing. Bye-bye for now.